Hello, Gunner James 105. I've got a Webley Mark VI on the table. This was picked up at a gun auction, it could be a month ago now, and along with quite a few other items that I need to do some videos on, but I thought I'd start out with this one here. It's been quite a while. I think it's, goodness, if I look back, it may be as much as 9 months since I've made a video, so I'm going to try and get back into the swing of things here. I've been busy as heck, and I'm working on, or I've been working on stuff that's really gotten in the way of making videos. And so here we go on this one. It would have been, now I'm not going to go into a big history of the all the marks and whatever. I don't have any other Webleys except this one. I've always, when it comes to Webleys, this was the final version of the 455 caliber. So that's what this one is a 455 caliber. It has not been shaved for the 445 ACP. It's in its original functional build, except for, I believe, this one, and I'm going to give you some close-ups. This one is a little different in that I believe it was involved in a World War II refurb done so that officers could get a handgun because there was a shortage and they were not able to keep up with what they had. So they weren't going to make any of these, so they grabbed a bunch up, and it was the Royal Air Force and the Royal Navy that had quite a few, and I believe that they were trying to grab a hold of something like, they had an order for 26,000 of these, and so between I think it was January and June of 1940, they went on a big push to bring these up to what they called a reserve standard. And so they were doing the refurbs at the Enfield, and Webley and Scott were doing the refurbs. And so by 1943, I believe, September 43, they had somewhere between 10 and 15,000 of these done up. They didn't quite make up the 26,000, but they got 10 to 15,000 were repaired, and so they were able to do that in addition to some of the other models of guns. I mean, this one here, for comparison, that's another one that was picked up at actually this was a different auction. This is a little Victory model 38-200, but you know, you had Smith & Wesson supplying handguns, and of course Enfield was still making the number 2 Mark I. And so this here, because of the lack of markings and what markings it does have and its finish and everything, I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. I believe that this was involved in that refurbishment. Normally you've got your Mark VI designation here, and you've got a patent and year and things in this area and all that. This is missing that. It's void of any of that. So it also, when it was purchased at auction, came with a couple of very unique things, or fairly unique. There's a holster that I believe was custom made for an officer, and then there is another item that it came with. When I had handled this at the auction, I had noticed this piece that was there. Didn't really know at the time what it was, but I do know now, so I'll give you a view on that. So this one, I mean, it's got its serial numbers are, if I were to rotate the cylinder, there's a serial number here, and it's in its full top to bottom configuration, because you know, those that were shaved, you would be missing the bottom part of that serial number. So it's there, and it matches the serial number on the frame, and it matches the serial number on the barrel, and so it's all matching serial numbers. Threw on this lanyard. That was just a little accessory. Now there's actually another video I'm going to do shortly, and it involves this in a Sam Brown outfit. So I've got a full Sam Brown belt, holster, etc. This here would be, they made different patterns of these, but this would be C Broad Arrow, and that Z, L and T Limited. And you can just barely make out that marking, 1943. That's a, you'll see that on a lot of the Canadian webbing. But this, they made these in more of a what they call a small frame and large frame. So this one here is actually a bit big for the for this here. It does fit, but this would normally be in a smaller holster, and whereas this is built more for the Webley for sure. And then there's the custom holster I have here, and then the leather holster on the Sam Brown that I'll make a video on a little later. But I'm going to take this camera off of the mount here so that I can get in close up and show you this in a little better detail. I don't know how well I can show you the bore, but if this had come out of the factory yesterday, you would believe it, because that's how absolutely shiny and beautiful the bore is, the cylinder, everything. I've had the grips off, I've had this thing all apart, and it's like new. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. So we'll take it off of the stand here and then get you some close-ups, and then I'll show you that holster and that other little item. Hang tight. So I made myself a few little notes here, and I was also wanting to mention that this Mark VI, it basically came out in 1915, and they built these, Webley and Scott built these up to 1923, and Enfield started making them from 21 to 26. The difficulty I had with this one, as I say, the markings, where you'd normally have your mark. I want to be able to make sure I've got good light here. But the markings are gone from this, except for when I break this open, on the back of the cylinder I can see W and S. Therefore, this would have to be a Webley and Scott. Since the serial number matches everywhere, it would be the original cylinder to the gun. So this would be 1915 to 1923 built. I've yet to be able to find anywhere that I can pin down the exact year on this because of the lack of markings. But it has proof marks, and you can see the British broad arrow. By the way, they had another one of these up at the auction. There was only two, and the other one didn't have as nice a finish as this. It was probably more original that way, and it was a Canadian C broad arrow, but that's the British. And so you see it again. Hopefully you can see it. There is one just up top, but not a lot of markings. But you can see how nice the finish is on it. Yeah, there you can see that, I think, pretty clear. And so, as I say, everything about this is just so nice. So I'm just gonna say that basically I find that the trigger pull, and as far as a target pistol, I don't think any of these, including the Enfields or the number 2 Mark I and many other handguns or revolvers, it was a point and shoot as far as any training that I've ever seen. Basically, you're not trying to hold steady on a target. You're gonna rapid fire. I mean, you spot something, you're gonna point, and you're gonna shoot, and there's nothing to that. And for how smooth this works, so we've got single action, but that hammer pulls back. I find it incredibly smooth, and the trigger pull on it is, in my mind, fairly crisp. Which brings me to this next little piece I wanted to show you. So this here, which I understand is quite rare. It's these are I've tried to find others, and I have seen them. That's metal with leather, and then little brass keepers on there. And there is a bit of a symbol. This is a hammer protector. So this was on the Revolver when I picked it up and looked at it. And so for the few that I've seen, the leather, I mean, when leather gets old, it all crumbles away. And so this one here is in pretty nice condition. I mean, I did have to take some of that green tarnish off of the brass that's on here, but other than that, it's okay. And so the idea is that it's going to sit on there, and you'll notice me doing a bit of dry firing, which is not really something I like to do, but with any of these old things in particular. But this here, I don't know if I can put this on one-handed, but basically you're going to clip that over there like that. Okay, and then just, well, we'll try here. I don't know if I can get that. It's probably not meant to go on one hand. It's just one sec here. I'm just going to set the camera down. All right, so there it is installed, and so that just simply hooks into there, and that sits over top, and there's the action, so that cushions the blow. So quite a rare piece. I mean, there are things that apparently a bayonet. You can check out other videos, but there was a bayonet that was developed to go onto that as an accessory, and there was also a kind of a shoulder stock to make this into kind of a carbine. But that was another thing that was an add-on or an accessory, and then they also had a method to, like a moon clip sort of thing, where you would be able to load 6 at once. And so this here, and it's quite, I mean, everything on it is very stiff. There's no looseness or wobble to this thing, but yeah, trying to open that up. Just give me 1 second again. Guess the benefits of having someone hold the camera for you, or try to get it on tripod. But if you look, I mean, that's the cylinder there. It's beautiful, and everything about it is in beautiful condition. So now I'm going to show you the holster. So this holster, this is the one thing I'm missing. I will have to get a hold of them. I'm waiting for the next gun show. Ammunition. As you can see, there's no ammunition for this. So I want to try and find anything. I know I can order some, but I believe it would end up costing for 50 rounds. It's like $80. So that's a little bit. So I'll take a look. So this holster is all canvas material, but this canvas, I believe, is this part's canvas, but we've got a lot of it is leather, canvas glued and sewed, or however it works. And it appears that on the straps it's the same way. I've got leather and canvas. So this thing would hang over your shoulder, and you'd have this over to your left side, so the strap would hang over your right shoulder. And what is quite interesting about this is the fact that it has inside, so that's Major General David Peel. I have not been able to track this down, this Major General David Peel. And again, I'm guessing that this is either World War II or this is post World War II. One of those scenarios. They didn't really carry this much beyond officially beyond World War II in as far as a British officer was concerned. So it may have been just right around those years, World War II or whatever, not too far beyond. But it's quite nice, and it has also a slot for the belt, so you could mount this on your belt, removing the straps. And it also has the cleaning rod, so it's quite a nice heavy cleaning rod that goes with that holster. And so I don't know, I've never seen another one of these. That's why I'm thinking it's a custom built unit. I can't find it. I mean, not that I've looked for years and years and years, but anywhere I look in any books or on the internet, I can't find another one. So this is pretty much wrapping up the this latest addition to the collection. Two things have to be done yet. Got to find some ammo, and I got to take you out to the range and we'll shoot this thing. I had laid out if I can get a hold of some of this, just for the, I won't shoot this or open it, but this happens to be the type of labeling and package that I hope to find with the 455 ammo. I've got this, I forgot the year of it. It's something like about a 1935 number 2 Mark 1, and it's early in that it's not the Mark 1 star or star, and it's still got its hammer intact, and so it's a pretty nice little handgun. I don't think I've done a video on it, but just to compare, I brought it out to maybe compare the size of the two guns. So that's lining up the grips and the trigger, and so I'm not sure the weight of this. I know this one was getting close to 2.5 pounds, so fair decent size. And then I just laid out a couple of things there. That's actually from my artillery unit. That helmet is actually dated 1935, so that's going back a ways. That's before my time, and many others that I don't think they realized that's what they're having in the artillery reserve that I was a part of way back then. But that's nice little Wolseley there, and this was something else from the auction. That rifle there, bayonet, I've had for quite a bit, but this is a new addition too, so I'll cover that in another video. But for now, hope you got a good look at that, and as I say, we'll go shoot it. It's still this morning woke up to minus 35 degrees centigrade and lots of snow, so not been doing a lot of shooting lately, but we'll get there. Thanks for watching.